Well, back to football. Joe Burrow leads the league in pass attempts. Is that a recipe for success? He obviously threw 61 times versus Cleveland in week 2.
We feel comfortable throwing the ball, and again, we'll do whatever it takes to win the game. And he's had a lot of success throwing it.
Zach, any update on Joe Mixon today?
No update yet. I do not expect him to practice today, but no update. But I will get you that when I do have 100% sure of what's going on.
When you took a second look at the Cleveland game, Coach, the first one you guys played, what was the biggest thing that you took out of that, re-looking at everything?
Opportunities in the first half that we misfired on, and when I say misfired, just whether it's communication issues or technique issues or getting us to a better play call, on my end, certainly things early in the game that put us in a hole that was hard for us to get out of.
Like obviously Mike Daniels was cleared to practice. Do you have a timetable for him? Obviously you got a window, but do you have a timetable, you think?
We'll see how he looks today. That's the starting point. I think it's encouraging just talking to him. But again, until we see him with the pads on out there at practice, we won't have a great feel. So we just started the 21-day activation window and see where he's at this week and if he's ready to go on Sunday.
There was a report yesterday that John Ross had asked to be traded. Have you talked to him? Have you had a conversation with him about that, or do you know of that at all?
I talk to John. I talk to a lot of guys every day, but I don't have any information on any of that.
Have you sensed his frustration?
I think anytime players aren't playing, they get frustrated. But again, he's handled his business the right way around here.
Zac, how do you turn around a culture without winning? Does it have to come with wins for you to be able to turn around the culture of the Bengals right now?
It certainly winning helps. Winning helps verify everything you do. When we talked to the offense this morning, we're 4 plays away from our record being totally different and our play really not changing and the perception being different. So it definitely helps to win. But again, I think our guys have bought in and they see that, again, there's plenty of opportunity to take advantage of here as a team. We've got guys, players and coaches that are bought in. And it's frustrating when you're close and no cigar. That is frustrating. But again, this thing doesn't happen overnight, and we win daily battles. I think day by day, guys are changing the culture in their own ways and the things that we see them doing. And there are really good days ahead. It has been frustrating when you're not winning like you think you should. But again, you don't just change the way you approach things and your demeanor just because it will work. And we're very confident in that. And I'm excited. There's going to be a lot of people that enjoy the success when we do have it. And it's coming soon. And we all believe that.
You mentioned that John Ross has handled his business the right way. Is there frustration for you as a head coach that some guys necessarily haven't handled their business the right way?
When you got 70 players, that's just the way it goes sometimes. And, we ask our guys to show up and work every day as professionals and make themselves better and make their teammates better. And when you approach it the right way and you're making plays on the field, you're rewarded. And that's just the way that we're always going to operate. It's never going to change. And so, again, I really enjoy the players that we have in this locker room. I really enjoy being around them every day. We got a really good group that's fun to coach. We're 1-4-1, and I still enjoy walking around these players every day in the hallway and in the locker room, and that hasn't changed. And I think that they feel the same way. And so we're all in this thing together. And there's nobody else I'd rather be doing it with than this crew we got.
So what advice do you give when you talk to John, or a month and change ago when the stuff came out about Auden in that situation when they are healthy and active?
I think any player come to compete every day, come to fight for your job every single day. And there's some weeks guys will be inactive. There's some weeks guys are hurt. There's some weeks maybe guys just don't factor into the plan based on the opponent we're playing. That's just the way it goes. But come to work and fight your tail off for your job every single day and prove that you need to be on the field.
Do you worry about a squeaky wheel affecting others?
Well, I think that's where leadership comes in from the coaches and the players is when you face adversity, sometimes things reveal themselves, and that's just the way it is. And sometimes that's a really, really good thing for the future. of the team. And that's just one of the things that it's not a daily battle. It's part of leadership. It's part of how you approach every single day. And that's every player, every coach, that's how we approach things. And again, you know that there's good days ahead because we've got the right people just based on the conversations you have every day. You feel really encouraged about where we can get to.
Zach, it seems like we're all just asking around Carlos Dunlap, so I'll just go ahead and just ask it bluntly. I mean, how's that whole situation been, especially with him, handling things the way that things have been handled? I mean, have they had an effect on the locker room, on you guys at all?
No, I think everybody's going about their business every day and trying to do their best to win football games. And that's what.
Do you think that, Zach, do you think that the cupboard was bare and the culture was nil when you got here?
No, I think sometimes things are just different, and that takes time. I don't think things were bad. The culture was bad. It's just when things change, it's different, and it takes a little bit of time. And I haven't done a good enough job helping us get those wins. But again, we're not dropping our heads, and we're going to feel sorry for ourselves, and we're going to go out there and earn it. And when we earn it, it's going to feel really good. It's going to be worthwhile because we know that we did it the right way and we put in the right work, and it was all worthwhile.
Zach, Joe Burrow said that y'all were doing a good job connecting with the deep ball on Sunday. What can you build from that, given the start in the previous 5 weeks and finding those long balls?
Yeah, that's not something that was really frustrating us, because again, we talk about this stuff every time it shows up on tape, whether it be practice or the game. And I know sometimes issues are made of it. I've been around that before in my life, and you know the reasons for it and the technique things that we can change at quarterback, receiver, timing versus the coverage. And you don't, through 5 games, you just don't let that become a concern. When it's an entire season, maybe, yeah, but through 5 games, we know that there's the chemistry is going to come, and I prefer not to make any excuses about missed OTAs because every team deals with that stuff. But, that is every rep counts for us right now. And the healthier our receivers stay, the more chemistry we get when we're out there at practice. And you're starting to feel really good about those connections.
Are you close? Are you closer to winning games? Or are you closer to getting the culture to where you want it? Or is it connected?
Yeah, completely connected, and again, winning doesn't just happen on Sunday. It happens on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's the part where, you guys have a tough job right now. I'm not going to lie. It's a pandemic. You can't be in the locker room. I do not envy that. And I do understand that. To see the things that we see that are in a lot of ways different from last year, and just the belief that's in that locker room that we got this thing headed in the right direction. It's just a matter of, again, it's you could look at 4 plays that could have totally changed the season around, but we didn't earn those 4 plays. The other teams that we played did. And so again, we got to keep working the same way we have, and just keep earning those small victories early in the week. That'll pay off on Sunday.
It's early, but is T. Higgins close to becoming a number 1 caliber wide receiver?
I don't really – that's a good question, Charlie. I don't really look at the number 1 receiver thing. I think in our offense, oftentimes we're playing 3 receivers, and they all equally are the number 1 target on a lot of plays. And so – and I really got faith. I think that we have as deep a receiver room as there is in the NFL. There's a lot of guys that could start for you and you'd feel very comfortable with. T gets better every week, and you can start to see his confidence grow as he makes more plays. And but we don't really go into it saying, hey, here's our number 1 receiver, here's our number 2 receiver. I think that especially the 3 guys that walk out there and start on Sundays, if they're the number 1 primary read in the target, you feel really good about it.
Joe Burrow said that he wouldn't hesitate, and he doesn't consider himself a rookie anymore from a leadership standpoint. Have you seen that? Have you seen him speak up over this stretch here that's probably been rough on him and the whole team?
I think he's led the right way, in his own way. You never want to make any player on the team be different than what comes natural to them. And I think in his own way, his leadership has really shown, and guys will respond and react to everything he does because he's earned it through his approach, through his understanding of our offense and the NFL game in general, and through his toughness, and for a young guy, that's show him that you know what to do and show him that you're tough, and you'll get guys to follow. And I think he's done a really good job of that.
Where does Myles Garrett stand in terms of, defensive players that can change the course of a game in your eyes?
Yeah, he's up there. He's up there. He's a really good football player. And, he can affect the run game. He can affect, he's gotten a lot of turnover at Washington, us, sack fumbles, have really turned games around when teams are getting back in it, and he has changed the game. And so you have to be very aware of where he is, and he's a heck of a football player.
Joe Burrow and AJ Green both said, they hope they can build on the success they had last week. As a play caller, how much does it open up things for you when AJ Green has it going and he's, catching passes?
I know that the production hadn't been there necessarily, but it wasn't something, and I keep saying this, that we weren't very concerned about. We knew that there was a time like the Indy game where he was going to have his production, and that will continue. And there may be games where we have key receivers that have 1 or 2 catches and other guys have big production. And then other games where they got 10 catches for 100-something yards. So, again, that's not something when you got a good receiver room that's deep, you can't be overly concerned about that stuff and just let it all play out naturally.
Guys, 2 more minutes with Coach.
Zac, you mentioned the 4 plays a lot. Has that become sort of a rally cry, and what are the 4 plays?
Well, it's not a specific 4 plays. That can come in any way, shape, or form. And one of the things you talked to the team about after the last game is what's the one play you could have had differently that would have affected the outcome in a 4-point game? What's the one play you could have stepped up and made? What's the one play call I could have made or something I said to the team? So Garrett, to answer your question, it's not a specific 4 plays. It's just one play in any of those games could have changed things, and changes the way sometimes you feel when you walk in on Monday, and you feel kind of the way that I'm sure these guys feel when they walk around town, or I feel when I walk into my Starbucks early in the morning, But again, you got to earn it, and the teams that we've played have earned it, and so you got to give the credit to them, and we just got to find our ways to get it done.
How important is it that the offensive line experience, like they did in the first quarter of the football game last week against the Colts? I mean, for them to see that on tape, to see where the bar could and should be, how important is that to have happen?
Well, I think they felt that a couple times. They felt it 2 games ago in Jacksonville or however many it was. And so, again, they're always going to take the criticism when there's quarterback hits and sacks and the run game. But, again, I can't say it enough. It's all 11 guys on offense that are accountable for that stuff. And just like when the quarterback throws a pick, he's always going to take the responsibility for it, even if it's not always his fault. Line's always going to take the heat for the lack of run game or the sacks, and it's not always their fault. But again, I feel like we're making good strides on that side of the ball with the chemistry and the confidence level of these guys who are really getting reps for the first time or maybe for the second year, and feel like our potential certainly is heading in the right direction.